Hi everyone, it's that time of the year when we ask all of you to go green with NDTV. That's right, it's time for the NDTV Greenathon. We've got that and a whole lot more on this week's episode. Of course, we want you to be environmentally friendly right through the year as well, but what are the specific initiatives? Well, you'll find out in this episode. Besides that, something very bright green coming up as well. Here's a look at today's highlights. So it's bright green and it's brand new. That's the Ford Figo. We bring you the very latest from the Geneva Motor Show, including Nissan's new small car, the NDTV Toyota Greenathon is here and we want you to get involved. Alright, so there's plenty coming up, but we get to that bright green car right at the top of the show. Now you saw a glimpse of it on the program last week. It is the Ford Figo. It's due for launch, which is just a few days away from now, so you don't know the prices just yet. But what about all the other details? There's a petrol, there's a diesel. Let's get to know it better.
Another new small car, and in such quick succession at that. After the Chevrolet Beat and the Volkswagen Polo, here comes Ford's Figo. We've shown you the car before. After all, it was revealed late last year when the company's global boss Alan Mulally was here to unveil it. But now it's finally ready for launch. Production of the Figo began in full swing a few weeks ago at the expanded Ford plant outside of Chennai. The car is being produced in both diesel and petrol variants, and Ford hopes for big volumes from this one.
It's a nice, young and stylish font in the badging for the Figo. Now, Ford has used the alphabet F for a lot of its model names, Fusion, Fiesta, for example. And I've got used to saying Ford Figo now. I remember initially I found the name a little bit strange, but now the car is here as well. Titanium tells you that this is the high-end version. And of course, the car isn't as tall as you might imagine because you keep sort of relating it to the Fusion in your head, but it's not really like that. And the tail lamp is what really makes you think of the Fusion. It's got that typical vertical pillar, which a lot of Ford cars have used even in Europe. And this is the element that I like on it. The clear glass part of it, which is of course the reverse light as well, has been well shaped to integrate with the rear windscreen. So it gives it a slightly wider look when you look at the car from the back, and that's smart, nicely done. Rear wipe wash, rear defogger are standard on the high-end model. Come along the side, and that's again when you get a sense of the fact that this is a compact car. It's a small car, it's not too tall, but yet there's something nice and muscular looking about it. Again, typical of Ford cars. So you've got a wheel arch that's a little bit pronounced. You've got this waistline that runs all the way through to the back, and body-colored door handles as well. Now, this color is interesting because the Chevrolet Beat launched in a very similar shade as well. And a lot of concept cars in Europe, especially in the small car segment, have always used this color. So it attracts attention. I'm glad it's made it to production as well, because the first car we saw when Alan Mulally was here last year, and they just showed us the exterior of the car, was also this color. The name, well, the name of the color is Squeeze. I would never have guessed that, but yes, that's the one they want to go with. Lemon Squeeze, perhaps? I don't know. All right, up front, kinetic design. That's the language as far as design goes for Ford right now. What does that really mean? You keep hearing kinetic design. Well, kinetic, right? So moving, always moving. And that's why the idea here is that you want to look at the car and think it is already in motion. So swooping upward headlamp, fairly stylish looking, though I have to say if you compare to the competition right now in the space, this car does tend to look just a little bit, how do I put it, less flamboyant, perhaps a little bit dated as well. So the front of the car, the little slim grille up here, the nice big face down there, and of course the headlamps, I think that's what really helps make it look really contemporary, because the rest of it is fairly simplistic and a little bit of a throwback to the cars we've already seen from Ford and other companies in Europe.
Tubar.com